Our last unit together, very bittersweet. It's on volume. And volume is probably one of the most useful, applicable areas of mathematics that you will learn. So let's review a few things. When we deal with circles, we have to think about the outside measurement. And when you're looking at just measuring around the outside of a circle, you're looking at the circumference. Okay? If you were to try to find all of the space that is on a lid of a can, this would be the area. And it has its own little formula, pi r squared. The formula for an area of a circle we did last year when we made pies is pi r squared. Find the radius, square it, and multiply it times 3.14, and you'll get the area of a circle. But what if you don't have a 2D dimension figure? What if you have a 3-dimensional figure? And in this case, and don't make fun, if you want art, go see Miss Maka. In this case, it's a cylinder, okay? And a cylinder has not only, a diameter, but it also has a length. And so we can use those measurements to find the formula for volume. The volume, another word for volume might be like the capacity, how much it holds. The volume of a milk jug, the volume of a coffee can, the volume of a canister of wipes. Anything that can hold a certain amount, a 3-dimensional that holds a certain amount has volume. And so if we take a look at the notes that I've given you, volume is the amount of 3-dimensional space occupied by an object. 3-dimensional space occupied by an object referred to as capacity, how much it can hold. Capacity, there's no IY, it's just CITY. Okay, there we go. So now, to find the volume of a cylinder, you do these things. You multiply the area of the base, what would be the lid of a can, and then you multiply the area of the base by the height or the length of that cylinder. Okay, so the formula for a cylinder can be written as volume equals base times height. And base is the area of the circle. So another way to write volume equals base times height is to write volume equals area of a circle, pi r squared, times height. And that will give you the formula you need. Then you just plug in your values and solve for the volume. The base of a cylinder will always be a circle. If it's not a circle, it's not a cylinder. And that formula again was pi r squared to find that area. So here we're going to start with your formula, which is volume. The volume of a cylinder is equal to the area of a circle, pi r squared, times height. Plug in your values. Well, we don't know the volume. That's what we're looking for. Pi is 3.14. That's what we'll use. Use 3.14 for pi. And r is 6 squared times height, which is 4. So the first thing you need to do is you need to square your radius. And the reason for that is because of PEMDAS. PEMDAS says do anything that's in parentheses. Well, that's not really in parentheses. I'm just using that as grouping symbols. But because there's nothing to do, there's no operation inside the parentheses, but it is an exponent, which is the E in PEMDAS. So we will square that, which 6 times 6 is 36. So we'll do 3.14 times 36 times 4. And therefore, commutative property of multiplication says you can do that in any order. And you get 452.16 ducks, no inches, because they told us that up there, cubed. Anytime you do three-dimensional objects, it's cubed. 2D area, that's squared. 3D volume, that's cubed, because it's three-dimensional. All right, let's use this wonderful formula again. Plug in the values. Volume is going to be equal to, well, this is the diameter. It is the length across a circle. So therefore it's not height. It looks like a height, right? But it's not. The can just happens to be laying on its side. So it's still 10 inches or 10 centimeters high. And we're still using 3.14 for pi. So what's our radius? Well, 8 is the diameter. The radius is half of that, and you're going to square it. So it's 3.14 times 4 squared times 10. Always do the squaring first, or your exponents first. So it's 3.14 times 16 times 10. And you get 502.4 centimeters cubed. Guys, don't make this harder than it is. Don't sit and go, oh, this is so hard, I don't understand. Just stop. Just write the formula, match the number with the thing up top, and put it in a calculator. It really is that easy, okay? You can do this. Why? Except I can't move my thing. So write this down. Write V, write equals, write the funky little n, looks like it's the pi sign, r squared times h. Just copy that down. What is v? Well, we don't know yet. What is pi? Well, pi is always 3.14. Take the pi symbol out, put the 3.14 in. Okay? What's the radius? Well, the radius is half the distance of the diameter. What's half of 10? 5. Okay, what's the height? Well, the height is how tall the thing is. And that's 2.5. And I forgot the squaring, because you take that radius and square it. Now, square the radius. You get 25. 5 times 5 is 25. And go 3.14 times 25 times 2.5. Okay? 3.14 times 25. All I'm doing is putting this in my calculator. And the calculator does all the work. Okay? So don't stress. 196.25 feet, because that's what they told us up here, cubed, because we're doing three-dimensional objects. Really is that simple. You can do this. You can do this. Okay? Write the formula, step 1. Copy the formula. Oops, yeah, that's right. Can't spell the word right. Step 1, write the formula. Step 2, plug in the numbers. Step 3, square the radius before you do any other math. Step 4, multiply all the rest of the numbers out. Okay? That really is it. In step 5, you can add a step 5. Label. Measurements cubed. Okay? All right, try them today. If you crash and burn, you crash and burn. What's the worst that could happen? Just try it today. I have faith you'll be fine. We'll pick up with cone on Monday and sphere on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we'll take a mini assessment just to see where you are. I will not make it full points. I'm going to make it about half of what they usually are worth. Usually you get an assessment out of 100. Since the last one, I'll make it out of 50 since you won't have a lot of time to redo or update your scores. I'll make it worth half, so therefore you don't have to stress about it. If you really crash and burn, we'll make a way to, you and I will get together sometime over the next couple days. I'll coach and I'll get that grade up, okay? But don't stress it. Just do your best. Try it. That's all I'm asking is just try it. All right. Toodles.